How we doing today, neighbors? Ian with eTrailer here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SumoSprings custom helper spring on our 2020 Ford F-150. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the features and then we'll do the install. Now there are a good amount of options when it comes to rear suspension enhancements for the F-150, and that's normally the first thing neighbors are looking at, is trying to take off some of the weight of that load. But we've found that with the front suspension, especially since it's an independent suspension on each side, this is a great buffer, if you will, that's going to take a lot of that shock out and gradually work with this polyurethane foam to take that absorption and put it into the spring opposed to your front end and those coils. And taking a closer look at the helper spring itself, we'll see that it is made again of that nice microcellular foam. It is a polyurethane, so this is going to last really well through all of the weather conditions, especially for us here in the Midwest. We see a lot of road salt and rock and debris, so that polyurethane foam is absolutely going to hold up through those weather conditions. And while we're speaking about the foam itself, that is how this will function. It's the coil compresses down on the inside of the foam. That's going to take that shock opposed to you feeling it through the coil. And when it comes to the installation of these, it's really not all that bad. We do need to get the vehicle up off of the axle to be able to get enough room for these to squeeze in, and it can be a little difficult to push those in. But I'm going to walk you through that whole process and show you my tips and tricks of how we do it around here at eTrailer. And if you happen to watch the video and think to yourself, I don't want to have to do this, or you don't have a jack and jack stands to be able to get those axles free, please do check out the dealer locator on our website. We'd be happy to find you a trained professional who can help get these on for you. But for all those DIYers, let's go ahead and hop into the install and we'll get this squared away. To begin the installation, what we're going to be looking for on our front axles here, at the control arms, we'll want to make sure we push up the center of the vehicle, have the control arm just hanging at its lowest position. Of course, use those jack stands and jacks to keep everything secure. I've got this to where we've got all the compression out of that spring as much as we can get just with having some jacks underneath, and of course you could remove the tire if need be, but we should be able to get to where we need to. We'll just soak down and clean off that coil real well. It's going to make it easier with that soapy water just to slide everything into place. And before we slide it into place, I wanted to talk about the channels on the insert that we're going to be putting in. There's going to be a wider channel and then a much more shallow channel. We're looking for that wide one to be on the bottom when we put this up there. So we're looking to go in between our second and third springs here, so we need to get that squeezed in, and easy way is to just get that down below one run and then we can swirl it all the way up into place. With this A-arm up top, it does make it very difficult to get it into the position that it needs to be, but once we've got it started, it won't be a big deal. So we're going to take that lower channel. We'll take that lower, wider channel, get that onto the lower part of the spring that we're going to be sliding into, and then take that lip from the top, give that a good shove down, and then you can start pushing that into the spring. You'll have to work that top edge and bottom edge in. Best thing I could do to suggest is to squeeze the inside of it, kind of creating a funnel for that to continue to push through, and you'll just apply good pressure as you come around and just get that pushed up into place. And then as that comes to the end, we do want to make sure, again, we're going between that second and third coils. So even with it kind of being a little difficult to get it started, once you've got it started, it'll be pretty easy to push it all the way around and get it set. Then you can grab the whole thing, continuing to push. And with that driver's side in place and trimmed correctly, we're ready to just hop over to the passenger side and do the exact same thing. And that's going to do for our look at an installation of the SumoSprings custom helper spring on our 2020 Ford F-150. My name's Ian with eTrailer, and I appreciate you watching.